Have you heard the latest buzz around the Golden State Warriors? As the trade deadline approaches, speculation is swirling like never before. With a significant shakeup potentially on the horizon, could one of the league's most electrifying players be donning the Warriors' colors soon? Stay tuned, because we're diving deep into the top targets that could redefine Golden State's season. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this video to stay updated on all things Warriors. Trade speculation surrounding the Golden State Warriors is reaching a fever pitch as we approach the February 6th deadline. After a rough stretch this season, the Warriors are actively exploring options to shake things up. With the recent acquisition of Dennis Schroeder, the front office is not stopping there. They are eyeing some big names, with Jimmy Butler leading the pack as the most talked about target. He's a six-time All-Star and a proven winner, and many believe Golden State should be considered favorites to land him. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. What's fascinating is that they're looking at no less than 9 players to potentially add to their roster. It's a diverse list that includes both stars and role players, and it raises a lot of questions about what direction this team is heading. I mean, do we really need another defensive player who can't score, like Matisse Thybulle? Sure, he's a great defender, but with career averages of just 5.7 points per game, adding him to a team already struggling offensively seems like a missed opportunity. Then there's Bruce Brown, who also hasn't played this season due to injury. After being part of the Denver Nuggets championship run, he's on an expiring $23 million contract with the Toronto Raptors. Adding another guard to the mix feels unnecessary, especially one who is also coming off an injury. The Warriors need size and scoring, not just another defensive-minded player. DeAndre Hunter is an interesting case. He's been putting up excellent numbers this season, but at $21.7 million this year and over $48 million in the next 2 years, the risk might outweigh the reward. Can we really afford to take a chance on a player whose fit with the team is still uncertain? His production is encouraging, but with the Warriors trying to envision a deep playoff run, this one feels like a pass. On the other hand, Dorian Finney-Smith could be a viable option. He's a solid 3-and-D player, and at nearly $10 million less than Hunter, he's easier to fit into the salary cap. The Brooklyn Nets might be more motivated to make a deal, and Finney-Smith's shooting percentage from beyond the arc is impressive. He could be a nice addition, but does he bring enough upside to warrant the move? Dante DiVincenzo is another name that's been thrown around. He's struggled since the blockbuster trade that sent Karl-Anthony Towns to New York, but he has a history with the Warriors. However, given the recent trade for Schroeder, it seems unlikely that they would pursue another guard right now. Now, when we look at Jonas Valanciunas, it's hard to imagine him fitting the traditional Warrior mold, but he could provide a significant offensive upgrade over Kevin Looney and Trayce Jackson-Davis. The real question is whether Steve Kerr would utilize him enough to justify the trade. Kyle Kuzma is an intriguing possibility. Averaging over 21 points and 6.5 rebounds, he brings the size and offensive punch that the Warriors desperately need. His contract situation is favorable, and if they're having discussions with the Wizards, Kuzma should be at the top of their list. Cameron Johnson is another name that's gaining traction. After a stellar performance against the Raptors, his trade value is soaring. Averaging 19.2 points with a deadly 3-point shooting percentage makes him a strong fit for the Warriors system. If they were willing to part with Jonathan Kuminga, he could be a game-changer for this team. Finally, we can't overlook Nikola Vucevic. The 2-time All-Star is averaging nearly 21 points and 10 rebounds this season, and while he does pose some defensive concerns, his ability to stretch the floor is exactly what Golden State needs. He could be a low-risk, high-upside addition that might not require a significant asset in return. The Golden State Warriors are facing some serious questions after that disastrous 51-point loss to the Memphis Grizzlies. It's not just a wake-up call. It's a stark reminder that this team, while talented, needs to make some bold moves if they want to compete at the highest level. The chatter around Klay Thompson potentially being on the move again is gaining traction, especially if the Warriors can't pull off a trade for Jimmy Butler. Now, I know many of you are thinking, Klay just got to Dallas, why would they trade him? But let's look at the bigger picture. The Warriors have been linked to several players since acquiring Dennis Schroeder last week, and Butler is the name that keeps popping up. With Butler's hefty $48.8 million salary, pulling off a trade will be no easy feat. The Warriors would likely need to send out multiple players and draft assets to make it work with the Miami Heat. But here's where it gets interesting. If Golden State can't get a deal done for Butler, could the Mavericks swoop in and make a play for him? It seems a bit odd given that Butler might not fit perfectly alongside Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, who are both ball-dominant players. But remember, Klay Thompson's strength lies in his catch-and-shoot ability, allowing him to thrive off the ball, which could make him a more suitable fit with the Mavericks' star duo. ESPN's Bobby Marks recently proposed a bold 4-team trade that would flip Butler to Dallas, send Thompson to the New Orleans Pelicans, and bring Brandon Ingram to Miami. Now, I'm not saying this trade is likely, but it does signal that Klay is far from untouchable. Many of us are still trying to wrap our heads around how the Warriors built their roster, and moving Thompson so soon into his 3-year contract could be seen as a strategic play to load up for a deep playoff run. But let's pause and consider the implications. Klay has had an up-and-down season, currently shooting career lows from the field and three-point range. Sure, he scored 51 points over his last 2 games, but can we really ignore the fact that he's not the Klay we once knew? You have to wonder if the Mavericks would see this as an opportunity to upgrade by bringing in Butler, who, let's face it, is a better player at this stage in their careers. As a passionate Warriors fan, I can't help but feel torn. On one hand, I recognize Butler's talent, but on the other, Klay has been a cornerstone of this franchise. You have to ask yourself, would this be the right move for the Mavericks, and would it hurt the Warriors in the long run? It's a complicated situation that brings a whirlwind of emotions for all of us who bleed blue and gold. So I want to hear from you. What do you think about these trade rumors? Is moving Klay the right call, or are we risking too much? Are we just going to throw away a legacy player like Klay Thompson for a shot at a player who might not fit perfectly? I'm genuinely divided on this issue, and I know many of you are too. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get this discussion going. And remember, this is a pivotal time for our Warriors. Every decision counts, and we need to stay engaged as fans. If you haven't already, make sure to like this video, share it with your fellow Warriors fans, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss any of the latest updates. We're in this together, and your voice matters. Let's keep the conversation alive and support our team as we navigate these challenging waters.